I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
It's the Midday Muscle, and me and my dumb backwards hat are backed by mostly unpopular demand. Shout out to John Gotti. F you, John Gotti. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Well, holy shit, this is going to be a record-long Recap Wednesday with 7 shows to get through, so here we go. We'll start with Toronto Pro, which was easily the biggest event of the weekend, especially if you're a fan of open bodybuilding, because we saw Ian Valliere come out of the gate fast and never look back on his way to securing a hard-fought victory. In the 212, the top honors went to Poland's Piotr Burecki, who was really good here if you haven't taken time to check the pictures. Mohamedra Tabrizi Nouri was your winner in wheelchair bodybuilding, and in classic physique we saw a big-time performance from Sam Paquin, who locked up his first pro win here. And finally in men's physique, the top honors went to perennial Olympian Mehdi Kabaj, who was probably close to his all-time best here, and I am so sorry for butchering these names. In the women's divisions, we're going to start our coverage with bodybuilding, where we saw Julia Wittessel land the first win of her pro career thanks to a standout performance. In figure, Lola Montez continued to show why she's one of the most underrated athletes in the division after she scored another win over a deep lineup. And in bikini, Ellie Fernandez returned to the winner's circle for the first time this year with another solid effort. In women's physique, the supremely conditioned Emilia Martic brought home the top honors. And last but of course not least, we have the wellness division, where we saw Spain's Sandra Colorado Acal earn her first win of the season. Now we're moving to the Mid-Pro USA, where we had some high-level talent in classic physique square off out in the desert of New Mexico. And when it was all said and done here, the top honors ended up going to Damian Patrick, who's had a really productive contest season so far. The runner-up spot went to Jeremiah Wiles, who cracked the top 3 for the first time in his career. And sliding into third, we had a strong showing from Camilo Diaz, as he ultimately ended up bumping Colombia's Julian Castano down to 4th. And making his way into the top 5 for the first time this season, we had Jordan Tripp Arthur, who looked good for it being his first time back on stage in the last few years. Up next, we had a huge battle out in Sin City at the Nevada State Pro Bikini, where the big headline comes from the GOAT, Ashley Kaltwasser, as she added another W to the win column on her resume after putting together another vintage performance. Sliding into the number 2 spot, we had Jessica Wilson, which ended up bumping the red-hot Rejuana Harley all the way to 3rd place. 4th place went to Tara Greer. And right on an impressive top 5 group, we have Gina Scarfolgio, which gives her 3 consecutive top 5 finishes on this year. And now out in the Midwest, there was an awesome women's physique lineup on display at this year's Omaha Pro. But when it was all said and done, the star of the show, Emily Schubert, came in and absolutely shut the place down on her way to punching her ticket to the Olympia with one of the most impressive displays in the division all year long. 2nd place finisher Amy McCown looked fantastic in her pro debut here, as she even managed to hold off former top 10 Olympia Ana Jerez, who was forced to settle for 3rd. After stepping away from the stage for almost 2 full years, it was nice to see Autumn Swanson come back and be able to grab 4th here. And finishing in 5th in her season debut, we had Kim Drizzen. And now we head on south down to sunny South Beach, where we had lots of talent on display at this year's Miami Muscle Beach Pro. And we'll start here with men's physique, where we saw Andre Ferguson show up and show out with what might have been his best overall look in years, bringing a huge win here. Brazil's Vitor Chaves slid into 2nd, and finishing in the top 3 for the 2nd week in a row, we had Daniel Amans. And we gotta give a shout out to the 40+ winner Kevin Roscoe for a win well executed. In the bikini division, Chris Baharis bounced back from a disappointing placing last week to secure a big win here. And in the runner-up spot, we had Ramnia Basualdo, who's been knocking on the door getting her first win of the season for the last 3 or 4 weeks now. And rounding out this top 3 with another terrific effort, we had Sierra Swan. In wellness, we saw one of the breakout stars from this year's rookie class, Tiffany Samrazi, secure her first win of the year after putting together her best look yet. Second place finisher, Lili Dong, is still hunting her first win of the season after landing in the top 5 for the 3rd time this year. And sliding into 3rd, we had last year's NPC Junior National Champ, Joanna Calcano, who got her pro career off to a very solid start. Now out in the new tech capital of America, Austin, Texas, former 8-time Fitness Olympia champ Adela Garcia brought some of the best in the business to square off in this year's edition of the Adela Garcia Pro Fitness. And when the dust finally settled here, we saw Darian Tiesenbaum walk away with the first win of her pro career, along with a well-deserved Olympia bid. The runner-up spot went to Amber Steffen, who made her first trip back to the pro stage in nearly 4 years right here. Perennial top 10 Olympian Arika Teigel looked good despite sliding back to 3rd, and where it looks like she did just enough on the scorecards to edge past your 4th place finisher, Savannah Bizchek. Probably saying that wrong. And last but not least, rounding out the top 5, we had Ashley Downs. Now we're keeping this gravy train rolling down to Brazil, where some of the best that the men's physique division has to offer came to battle it out in this year's muscle contest Bahia Pro. And at the end of that day, top honors went to Vinicius Vieira Lima, as he secured the first win of his IFBB career, along with the well-deserved Olympia qualification. And then in the not-too-distant second, we had a guy who's really starting to find his footing this year in Emmanuel Costa. 3rd place went to former top 10 Olympian Felipe Franco, who got his season off to a strong start here. 4th place went to Guilherme Gualberto, and closing out the top 5 in his first outing of this season, we had Alberton Ribeiro. And that will do it for yet another Midday Muscle. I'm Tyler Shore, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.